picked up guitar when I was 11. I was hooked, and that was when I first started to get addicted to music. I never really thought about becoming a music teacher because it's something that I've always done ever since I was sort of 16, 17, teaching guitar to my friends. At this school, I teach 3-year-olds up to 8-year-olds.
And knock, 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 knock. Is there room to stay? Sorry, sorry.
I had some fantastic teachers, I had some not so fantastic teachers, and I can remember how I felt when I finally got figured out the Randy Rhoads guitar solo, or the Steve Vai lick that I was working on, or the Bach prelude. And if I can sort of see my students get that same pleasure that I got, that's what sort of makes teaching.
Try and keep it strong in the end, all right? Don't get weak. Keep it strong.
If you start young, it becomes like a language. If you or I were dropped in Spain, I don't know, maybe you speak Spanish, it would take us a very long time to get up to speed, whereas if you had a 5 or a 4-year-old learning to speak Spanish, they pick it up, I don't know how much faster than we do. So if I can get them learning real music, the names of these notes, semi-breves, quavers, and how to read, it becomes second nature. So when they get older, it'll come to them that much quicker. So yeah, I think it's important to start young.
Who can play that for me? Make sure you don't just go crazy, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, because that's not really right. You want to make sure that every count gets a play, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and...
I usually think about what I want to teach first. Am I working on rhythm? Am I working on melody? Am I working on reading music notations? And I think of ways that children can have fun with these ideas.
Let's try and play it together.
On Wednesday, I teach at York Council Adult Education, and the school is the Joseph Roundtree School, and this is the music room where we do our lessons.
Good job. Now, these dotted rhythms, do you understand the idea of dotted rhythms, right?
I can't speak to an adult the way I speak to a 5-year-old, and vice versa. So I guess it keeps life interesting, having to change your teaching styles to suit the ages that you teach. I get to talk about what I like to do best. It's not really work. Obviously it is work, but it feels more like helping people understand the joys of playing piano.
E minor, F major, G major.
You know, if he's shown something to the group on the board, he'll then make sure he comes around us all individually, make sure he understands it and watches.
I think Heath's a very good teacher. He mixes a bit of theory with a bit of practical, so he tries to break it up so it doesn't become too monotonous. So yeah, he keeps it interesting.
The best part of teaching is when you see a student who's been working on a rhythm or working on trying to understand whole steps and half steps or something on the staff, and the moment they get it, you can see their eyes sort of light up and it's like, ah, I got it. So do I have one specific memory? Not really. I have loads of good memories.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Good job. All you.
got a friend.
I mean, I'm very eclectic. I went to university, and I went to a high school, a magnet high school for the arts, kind of like FAME, and I studied classical guitar and classical piano. So I'm a big fan of all the classics, Chopin, Bach, Prokofiev, Rachmaninoff. I also love songwriters like Billy Joel, James Taylor, Carole King, Bob Dylan. I'm also a big rocker. I grew up 13 years old on Metallica and Ozzy Osbourne and Pantera and things like that.
Soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. Winter, spring, summer.
As far back as I can recall, since I was 4 or 5 years old, the house was full of music.
And I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a friend.
I write songs, you know, very passionately and all the time, and that's going to be, I want to make that my career. It's been my hobby for as long as I can remember, and now I'm trying to make it into my career. And if I want to do that, I need a room that I can work in all the time, or whenever I need to, and not worrying about people sleeping next door or a baby in here or anything like that. Also, I also want to be able to get involved in more local bands and local artists who want to record a demo, but don't have the money to go into a big place. So my studio is going to be really mainly for me to use in my projects, but also as a side project, I'm also going to open it up to the public. But I don't want to charge much, because I want to be able to make it open to everyone. The garage will also function as a live room. We have some soundproofing that they use at pubs on the floors above, so the people don't hear it, and that's going to be on these walls. And we'll have some soft boards that also can isolate and muffle drum sounds. So that's what we use this garage for. Careful of the floor. This is going to be my mixing room. Basically, I'm going to have my piano in the corner, mixing desk here, my computer station. We're going to have some guitars around here, my keyboard, my synth here. And we're very fortunate that we were able to keep some of the garden for little baby Mia to play in. How's that taste? I've been toying around with the idea of calling it Affinity Studios, obviously because the word affinity itself means having a connection with something. I have an affinity to music, so I think that sort of sums up what I'm about. I'll play some samples from a couple of tracks. This is one that I wrote recently, my most recent mix, which I had another local New York singer perform for me named Holly Tamar, who has a great voice. This line is piano. This is another Strat. This is the bass guitar. So this is sort of the instruments right here. And then these 6 top tracks are all vocals.
You may not see me, but I'll be there for you, so don't you worry.
Inspiration comes from anywhere, really. I don't have anyone in particular that I write for or about. I might get an idea for a guitar riff or a piano riff, and I'll sort of cultivate and develop that riff. And I try to write the choruses first. Here's the beginning of the chorus.
It's not the end of anything, just the start of something.
My songs are all like stories, and that's how the verses sort of unfold. It's great, actually, being able to make my own schedule and write when I want to write. I can isolate parts, just the drums.
word now.
Instruments. Vocals.
Just think of me, smile and carry on.
You're single now, before how long? Something I don't even know. Sometimes I think you're just too good for an average guy like me.
I'm very fortunate that I get to do what I'm passionate about and get paid for it. I mean, music is what my life revolves around, and the fact that I can do that and earn a living at it is amazing. I mean, if I won the lottery tomorrow and didn't need to work, I probably wouldn't change my lifestyle that much. I would probably still teach here. I'd still be doing the same thing with my music at home, recording. I'd still play every now and then for weddings. You know, it's a great thing to be able to do what you do best and what you love for your career.
And I think that maybe there will come a day when you will look at me and see the eyes I see.
The music industry at the moment is more difficult than it was to break into due to the availability of music. There's no real roadmap or instruction manual to how to do this. Everyone has a different route. I'm very fortunate in the fact that my father has lots of contacts from his days in the music industry. So I'm constantly making phone calls and sending emails, attaching songs. You have to keep pushing forward and doing the best you can at mixing and writing, and you know, someone will hear that. It's the law of averages and numbers. If you keep doing it enough, someone will hear it, and you will get somewhere.
As much as I've been writing, you think it's all for you, and these feelings that I hide all seem like nothing new. With strangers now with not much time to spare, you'll be leaving town for good again, and I'll be thinking way back when you drove me crazy with the things you do and all the words you say. And I think that maybe there will come a day when you will look at me and see the eyes I see.